You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Yo, what's going on, man? So how was your Thanksgiving, man? How did it end up turning out? The turkey and
All right, good. Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned on the last show or not. I went and got a COVID test before my mom came up. That was negative, so that was good. Yeah, it was my first experience with that. So that was
put it up there pretty good, huh?
Well, I actually went to it like CVS has a drive-through testing system where you actually do it yourself. So it was kind of interesting. There's just they take you through the directions and, you place it in a tube and then put it in the bin when you're done. But yeah, my mom came up. It was a rather, low key Thanksgiving, I would say. But yeah, good meal, good company. So all in all, it was pretty good. Enjoyed myself. I know a lot of the Thanksgiving events around the East Coast, anyway, around the Northeast here, got canceled. Thanksgiving Eve bowling events got canceled. There were some that did go off, but a few that I know of definitely got canceled. So it was a really laid back Thanksgiving. It was chill, it was cool. And how about you, Rob?
Yeah, same kind of deal. There wasn't really. I was supposed to go to California to see my dad, but the whole COVID wave happened and California did a shutdown. And then I had to end up working on Friday, which was kind of unexpected. So I ended up canceling my trip out there and then stayed here, smoked the turkey. I marinated it. I injected it 24 hours, smoked it for about 8 hours. It turned out amazing. And the best part of Thanksgiving is the desserts and the sides. The turkey is okay, but man, that's some.
We had 4 different kinds of pies here in the Leinart household. So
yeah, we did too. I had all kinds of pie. I made a green bean casserole, which was the first time I got some recipe I found online. Turned out pretty good. And then we ate for like 3 days after. Still trying to shed the pounds from it. But other than that, it was nice to be off work, just chill a little bit, and then I'll have to go back to California when all this shit goes down. But
I gotta say, I can't imagine what it's like to have to work the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh,
that's
it's miserable.
Wild to me. That's wild. That's got to be wild miserable. Seriously,
sucks, dude.
I mean, I've never had to work a day after Thanksgiving, and that's got to be brutal. Getting up after eating that kind of meal the day before, hanging out, etc., and then you got to wake up for work.
So you know what the worst part of it is? The worst part of it is my company is actually closed too for 2 days, and I still had to work because my client is open, which means I have to be accessible and online for them. So I mean, I'm not like working a full day. I'm not like super busy, but I'm just literally I was hanging out, I was working out, I was doing all kinds of shit in my room while I was hanging out. But it is what it is. It sucks. So if you guys, your teachers, man, I'm jealous.
God bless. I mean, listen. Big shout to the people that are going out there and working the day after Thanksgiving. I'm not trying to hate on those people, but brutal. I'm glad I get to chill and relax. So, Rob, obviously we want to hope everybody out there had a good Thanksgiving. Things were somewhat odd and out of sorts this year with COVID, et cetera. So, whatever adjustments people made, I hope they still got to enjoy their Thanksgiving, Rob. Maybe people got their bowling in. I know I talked to a few people personally who were running around all of Thanksgiving weekend, hitting different states and bowling, trying to get in some events. So perhaps people got their bowling competition in, but we hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving out there. Rob, you ready to get into some bowling news for this week or what?
Yeah, absolutely. We got some stuff going on. Shout outs to all of our people in the chat room. Robert Hamilton, man, it's always good seeing you. Still remember the Turbo X you beat me at Showplace at JBT. Our boy Andrew, the guy who Andrew sponsored by what did we say? Affliction. You know, he's got the Affliction sponsorship, and your boy Stumpo's in the chat, man. He's chilling. So
DJ Double S.
Good to see you guys, man. What's up to everybody? Danny, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining. So let's talk some bowling, man. I know there was some.
And listen, people, get involved. You know, we want to hear from the chat. We love hearing from the chat on this show. Oh, also over Thanksgiving weekend, Rob. You know, we mentioned, and it was mentioned in the chat. Speaking of the chat last week, that there was a $10,000 event down in Texas over the weekend, and I saw on social media some of the players were there. Like Sean Rash was down in San Antonio, I think, or something, hanging out the last weekend. But yeah, I reached out to Stu. I was hoping he won because I told him go win that shit, and I reached out to him seeing if he won. He did make the final 8, but he lost, and Sean Maldonado beat Anthony Simonson in the final of that tournament.
Two-handed.
Kind of predictable, right? I said kind of predictable, right?
Well, I wouldn't have predicted Maldonado beat Simonson, but
in Texas though. I feel like Mal. I know they're both Texas guys, but I feel like Texas bowlers bowl better in Texas. So Maldonado's even better when he's in Texas. So
gotcha, man. What's good? Big Swiss out in Arizona. If anybody's interested in bowling, you're probably already too late. But isn't that a 5-man tournament? Isn't that 5 men on a lane? I mean, are they packing them in Arizona, or what's Hatchet? What's going on with like the COVID precautions? Did you know anything about it? I'd love to hear it. Because I know those usually are pretty filled up bowling center when Swiss goes in. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. Oh, 4 in a pair, 4 in a lane. That's still a lot though. 8 in a pair, no. You know, I mean, are they doing every other lane, or what are they doing? They're packing them in. I wouldn't go anywhere right now with this whole shit going on. It feels like now a lot of people that I know are getting tested positive for it around me. So you kind of feel like it's getting worse before it's getting better right now. So everybody knew that with the winter coming and people staying more indoors. Of course, Thanksgiving, Mike, right? Like all the family get-togethers, and I feel like it's not going to get better until really March, April, when they start vaccinating people, and I know that's going to happen hopefully pretty soon. But
true,
anyway,
we're getting word in the chat here that Sean Maldonado has changed his style and is now bowling with his but he was a thumb in two-hander. Now he's a thumb out two-hander.
Sport Bowling Productions, huh?
Yeah, what's that? I got to check that out.
We got to check that out.
I hope that's not a troll account. If you're a burner troll account, I'm coming at you. I'm coming at you, Sport Bowling Productions. You better not be a burner troll account. All right, so Rob, let's talk some news, right? Let's talk some bowling news because I swear, like sometimes we get blessed with news that comes out like the day or two before we have a show, and I see something. And if you don't follow us on Twitter, the 215th, Rob is at Brooklyn Rob. I'm at the 215th, and I just can't help but comment that I can't wait for Wednesday. Because the news is just too good, and it's just something that I have to discuss. So this week we were blessed because the PBA announced yesterday that they have a new fan club.
It's called the PBA Pinsiders. It's a membership exclusively for fans. And a little bit of background of what they're doing here. I have this right from the PBA website, so I don't get it wrong, so I don't get fact checked. I want to get Tony Rial up in here. If you're looking for the ultimate fan experience in bowling, look no further, Mike. Look no further.
Then sweep the rack. Look no further than sweep the rack. I should be doing
the promo voice. The PBA has a brand new exclusive membership dedicated to the organization's biggest fans, the PBA Pinsiders.
Listen, people in the chat, hear the man out. All right, hear the man out. Let's hear them out. Okay, I know we all want to jump on the negative train real quick, but
real quick.
Hear the man out.
Okay, so what it is
tell us membership. Tell us what this organization is.
The membership is the first ever fan club available for bowlers of all ages, skill levels to celebrate the fans. They're celebrating us, Mike. As a PBA Pinsider, members will instantly become a part of a PBA community and get to unlock the ultimate fan experience. Members will receive a PBA fan welcome club kit, includes officially licensed PBA swag, and gain access to member-only digital content straight from the professionals. So here's what you get, right? And it is, I believe, I went to go join. It's $49.95, I think, for the year. Okay.
All right. So let me start here before you get into what you get for the $49.95. At first, when I saw this, I assumed it was free. I assumed it was like some kind of organization Bolero was trying to get you to sign up for, to like get your email, etc. Starting. I'm serious. I was like, oh man. What? Then when I did a little research, right, it was $49.95 a year to join, and I'm like, oh come on. I mean, really? Like
Wait.
This is.
You haven't even heard what they've given you, Mike. So
I understand,
first off,
but still, like, I just think for a minute, Rob, that, and let's be clear, right? You're never going to see us do a subscription based show on our own, right? We were subscription based when we were behind the paywall flow. That didn't work out, as everyone knows, and you're not going to see us go to a subscription based process on our own. But Rob, let's be honest,
Mike?
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that in the bowling community.
Well, you know why, Mike? We won't go to a subscription-based service because we're not doing this for the money. That's the straight out truth. We're doing this because we like to do it and we want to talk bowling, and we don't really care if
and because I like having burner troll accounts that follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, it's we're the fan. We're for the fans because we're free and anybody could join us. Anybody could talk with us, and we give people access to pros too. Especially when they're on our shows. And people could talk to them and ask them questions and look like. So let's first, before we get on the negative train, let's talk what the PBA is giving to the fans because that's the important part, right? A PBA bowling towel. Okay, I'm gonna do a value here, Mike. I'm gonna do a value.
The chat is brutal. The chat is.
I'm gonna do a value. I'm gonna do a value of the product. Okay, so I'm gonna write it down.
And I'm gonna evaluate because I said I thought it would be free. I'm gonna evaluate whether there is really value in what they're giving you, right? So you go through the list and let's see where we're at. The people in the chat are brutal.
Right?
Oh, Rob, look at the chat. Look at the chat.
Yes.
Come on. All right.
I love it.
Man. Come on, Carl. Come on, man. Hit us up and come on. You're more than welcome. Come on.
That's gotta be a troll.
That was. I gotta say that was. I should make that my banner on my Twitter. I told some of my
just
best
keep that up?
who have no idea about the bowling nonsense, and they love that shit too.
Let's just keep this up here for the whole time.
No, we're not keeping it up. Come on, we're not promoting this. We're not promoting this nonsense. Let's go.
So PBA bowling towel. Let's do over and under here. $9.95
should be free.
It's a $10 towel, right? If you were to go into the pro shop or buy it, right? A PBA water bottle. PBA water bottle, probably another like $7.95. Okay, for a water bottle. Okay. PBA hat. Is it going to be one of those like clip-on hats that like never fits your head good?
Dad hat? Is it a dad hat?
Yeah, just say $15 for a PBA hat, okay? The Walmart kind of hat, right? I'm thinking. And then you get exclusive discounts. You get the PBA Pro Bowling console game download, which is a $19.99 value according to the website, okay? Then you have early access to PBA Tour event tickets and free upgrades on tickets purchased. That's pretty general. Nobody knows what a free upgrade means, right? A voucher for a free game at a Bolero Center. All right, free game, which at Bolero is probably what, like $15.95 to bowl one game?
No, come on. It's like $5.
Okay, $5. Okay, a voucher. Here's where the value might come in, Mike, and I'm being serious. I'm not joking here. A 20% off discount off annual Flow Bowling subscription, right? If a Flow Bowling subscription for the year is $149.95 or $150, 20% is probably what, like $30, a 20%. So in reality, for $49.95, if you want to join Flow Bowling or you're gonna join Flow Bowling, to me, a $49.95 might actually be worth it if you're gonna get $30 off of a value. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of think like the Flow Bowling like discount. It would have been juicier if it was like a 40% discount off of Flow Bowling. I think like might have been really worth it. And then
I mean,
you
listen,
get some.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that point, right? Like the discount on Flow Bowling, if you're going to sign up for that, definitely kind of makes sense in the value of it, right? But but at the same time, you know, Rob, like we've discussed, there's so many different subscription-based bowling outlets, right? I saw that already. Listen, Carl, Rob, tell the truth. Tell the truth and tell the people what I hit you up with when I saw that Carl was selling bowling swag.
Yeah,
which is bullshit, by the way. But we'll get
okay,
into that later.
Okay, we'll get into Carl a little bit later. Carl,
But
stay
no,
with
Rob,
us. Okay,
tell
we're
the
gonna
people.
need you.
Be honest and tell the people what I hit you up with when I saw you. Because he was offering a cameo, right? He was offering a free cameo type video with any purchase.
Yeah, you wanted us to buy a bowling ball, and you wanted it to for him to make a cameo on our show because he had to buy a bowling ball, and I don't know, you wanted to trash the bowling ball on air or something. I was just like, oh, we'll talk a little bit PBA.
The website, by the way, David, the website is a disgrace right now. Honestly, get it together. The website's a disgrace. The schedule is another issue, but the website's a disgrace. Get it together. For real.
Okay, so wait, there's some other stuff here.
Continue.
You get a 10% merchandise discount of Bowlers X, right? So if you buy enough shit, right, 10% could be decent, right? $100 bowling ball is $10.
Yeah, even if you buy one bowling ball, you know, and you pay $200, you know, it's $20 value right there.
Yeah, so if you buy 2 or 3 bowling balls a year from Bowlers X, right? But I have an issue with that a little bit too because I would figure the PBA would want to promote their local pro shops and their bowling centers. Like I feel like when they're driving the business to, online like Bowlers X or Bowlers Mart or those, you're driving business away from the locally owned pro shops. And I'm a local small owned guy. I like promoting the local small owned pro shops, right? Because those are usually friends or people that I know that own these shops. And when you drive business to the web, you know, that's a whole nother topic of conversation, Mike. Here's the exclusive content, right? PBA Pinsider member only digital community. Mike, this could be the new, USB-C message board, Mike.
Sign me up.
It could be the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah.
Rob, email me the link right now. Me the link right now. I can't be shut out of that.
No,
I can't be shut out of that.
You get pro tips and Q&A sessions. So are they sweeping the legs of another online subscription service that just came in that's supposed to be helping bowlers, right? Or is that a whole nother online subscription community where they're going to do Q&As, right, for bowling advice? And virtual meet and greets, like Sweep the Rack. You know, you could come on the show and you could meet your favorite pros and talk to them. So, in that case,
sounds like it, Robert. It sounds like it, but you got to pay to get in. You got to pay a cover fee to get into the message board this time around.
Yeah.
Oh God, what a cesspool! What a cesspool that message board was. And listen, you want to talk? I criticize other people for having burners. I had burners on that message board. One of them was Mike Fagan's hair. The name of the burner was Mike Fagan's hair. Okay, and every time Mike Fagan made a show. Every time Mike Fagan made a show, I would go on as Mike Fagan's hair, and I would post and make comments about what I was going to look like on the show. Oh God, Tim Buck as the ad. Can you imagine that, Rob? Tim Buck as the admin of the new PBA message board. Oh my God, his head would explode. John, his head would explode. Seriously, that's too wild to think about. But listen, Rob. I mean, not a bad value, right? Not a bad value.
I mean, you really think about it, you break it down.
Though? Listen, this is just cornball shit. Okay? Pinsiders come on, man. Like who?
What do you want
Really?
them to
Like
do?
who wants to really join that? Like, are we envisioning people walking around Bolero Center saying, "Hey, are you a Pinsider? I'm a Pinsider. Oh, only Pinsiders can bowl on this league." I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, I think they could come up with a better way to market it, right? A more creative way to market it than just that. But at the same time, not a bad value. I'm not going to hate on them for what you're getting for the $50. I'll say this: there's other bowling subscription outlets out there where I feel like you might be getting less when you're asked for more money. No?
I mean, I'm just breaking this down. If you really do the value of
Rob, Carl's confused. He's always confused. Like, we're talking bowling, and he's in here with the football and the Chicago. Yeah, I feel you, Carl. I'm a Philly guy, man. If you guys really want to go to the best cheesesteak places, come see me, son. But listen, that's not what we're doing here. We chop it up over the bowling.
I kind of feel like would be a better package for them if they put in like a 50 or like if they gave discounts or even something where you get discounts off of Flow Bowling, like bowl.com, right, for their streaming service, and maybe
everything.
Like another.
How about everything packaged together?
Right.
How about a
like
lot
that,
of that
right?
packaged together? Okay. That would be a good thought. I think that would be a good product to market.
But I guess the other thing is that I wish Lucas was in the chat because I'd ask him.
He probably is. He's probably lurking.
What are they doing with the Flow Bowling subscriptions this year? Because there hasn't been anything on Flow Bowling. And I feel like someone.
It's funny, Rob. I don't want to sound like a homer, but I love Flow Bowling. I think they do a great job. I think Lucas does a great job. I think they put out a great product. So this is something that I've kind of not brought up on the show because I do think it's a valid point, but I think it's a tough point to defend on their end because there just hasn't been much to put out there, right, and show. But listen, I think it's a fair question to ask. Like is going forward with subscriptions, is there going to be some kind of prorated subscription option in terms of there being less content this year than any time before?
Dude, I didn't watch any Flow Bowl. I mean, there was it feels like I paid money, right, this year, and I got a couple documentaries and old shows, right, like old stuff, like, and we weren't able, and that's not Flow Bowling's fault, but I feel like, look, if I paid $150 for my gym, and the gym closed, or there was nothing going on in the gym, I would expect to get my money back. I mean, flat out, right? I paid for a service and I'm not getting it. So why am I like, imagine if you paid for Netflix every month, you paid $15.99 and they weren't adding on any new shit for the last year and it was just all their old stuff. I mean, you'd want some kind of discount, right? I mean, there was got to be something they got to do. Even if they gave every member a free month or two or a free 3 months to let it go. I don't know. Like, and we've already talked about how they should open up the subscription, like the WWE network does, where if you sign up, you get a free month or a free 2 months. I feel like they need to do something like that anyway to get more exposure. So people, they might join, they might cancel, but I don't know. That's a whole nother topic we can get into, but I know we got a lot to talk about. So
true.
PBA Pinsider, Mike. I mean, personally, I probably won't be joining. Honestly, I probably will only join if they give me a few things that I need from the bowling world, meaning the identity of who Zombie Belmo is. That would probably be my first thing I would want.
Speaking of which, Rob, you know what? Speaking of which, I have an announcement to make. I said this on the show before in a half-hearted way. But I'm going to put this out there, okay? And I'm serious about this. All right, $1,000 bounty on the identity of Zombie Belmo. Okay.
So you're gonna give someone okay? So let's talk.
I will
real
give
quick
someone
about this.
10 brand new $100 bills. Okay, if they bring me, lock, stock, and barrel evidence of who's behind that account, okay? Because I want to know. I want to know who's behind that account. So again,
Wow.
Put it out there. Let the bowling community know. It's got to be real evidence. It's got to be evidence that I can use to come on here and air it out with the person. Okay.
Wow. So Zombie Belmo on Twitter.
Yeah, $1,000 bounty. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Zero chance that it's somebody from our circle. Well, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I don't know that. It might be someone from our circle, but I don't think it's Bill O'Neill. I don't think it would be Bill.
Zombie Belmo talks too intelligently for it to be Bill. It's someone smart, man. Mike.
He's too busy. He's too busy counting his money. He ain't hating.
No, he's in his pool. I just see him in a floaty.
He's got the construction of a new vacation house he's got to look after. He doesn't have time to be trolling people online.
I hear it's December in Philly and the pool's still open. That's what I heard.
Okay.
I heard he's still sitting by the pool in his jacket and just hanging out, having some frozen cocktails. But all right, cool. Well, listen to that, people. That's a big opportunity. $1,000 bounty Mike is offering for what is that? What word am I looking for? Undisputed, right? Or what evidence of who Zombie Belmo is on Twitter, and he will send you $1,000. And he is a man of his word too. He will do it. If
you're local, I'll come and present it to you personally.
Oh my God!
And have a beer with you, and buy the beer.
And then you better hope Zombie Belmo isn't local. Because then after he drops
Zombie Belmo, better hope that Zombie Belmo ain't local.
Because he's going to go right to his house after.
And very true.
Old 18-year-old Big Mike is coming out of the woodwork. And that scares me a little bit. Anyway, so for Zombie Belmo's sake, I hope nobody knows his identity, because I don't want to see the 18-year-old Big Mike come out of retirement. The 40-year-old teacher Mike, I'm a
much calmer person. Much calmer person.
Anyway, all right. So let's talk. Let's talk your arch enemy, Mike.
He was here, right? I mean, I don't know if he's still here, but Carl, we're gonna give you some promotion here for your bowling swag. If you guys saw earlier this week, Barstool Carl released some bowling swag. I think it was who is it? Who's it through? It's through On the Ball Bowling, Rob. Is that what it was? I think that was the website. There was Carl. Can you tell us in the chat who you're promoting it through? Is it On the Ball Bowling, or was it KR Strike Force? But he released some bowling swag. I gotta ask, Rob, is this what's behind the interest in bowling in general?
So you think he was just promoting
of the bowling swag
to sell merch? Of course.
I don't know.
Come on.
I mean, listen. That's what I see. I'm just calling a spade a spade. No,
dude, you were hammering the PBA this week, and everybody who it jumps all over Carl's shit on Twitter.
Yeah, because they're so thirsty. They're so thirsty. Like Carl, you shouldn't feel like privileged at all. Okay, because the PBA for years has been thirsty. As thirsty as you could be for any kind of celebrity attention or pseudo celebrity attention. It's fine. Listen, son, get money. I'm not hating. I hope you sell a lot of bowling balls and a lot of bowling bags. I hope you help bowling take off and turn different people onto it. But that doesn't mean I'm not entitled to my opinion on things either. Okay. So, listen, good luck with the bowling swag. I wish you luck. It just seems like too much of a coincidence to me to have the promotion and then the bowling swag coming out.
See,
but I get it.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Like, let me make a quick point here. Is I could understand, right? And here's the thing: is I could understand when the PBA wants to partner with celebrities like Mookie Betts, Terrell Owens, Jerome Bettis, Chris Paul, right? These are big names, dude. Like that are amazing. That I would love to be able to get involved with the PBA. Chris Paul does his charity event. Mookie Betts bowling, dude. These are A celebrities, Mike. They're athletes. They're well known across the world. But like Barstool Carl, like who the hell is he? He's a nobody. He's like the guy who wipes like Dave Portnoy's ass. Honestly, like. I mean, they're lackeys, really, for Barstool. But I love Barstool.
They have so many commentators and so many different personalities there at this point. It's so hard to keep track of who's who anyway. So I don't even really follow it that closely. I listen to their main podcast from time to time.
Carl didn't like that comment.
You're welcome on the show anytime you want, Carl. You want to come promote whatever you want to promote, and listen, if you're coming back, let us know. I'll bring some craft brews. We'll get rid of the Miller Lite, okay? We'll have some craft brews, maybe some Johnny Blue. That's how we roll over here on Sweep the Rack, all right? So just give me a heads up next time. I'll have it ready, okay?
Yeah, I feel like they're so thirsty for Barstool to be involved with the PBA, which is
Rob, can I comment for a second on even your point with Chris Paul and Mookie? And I think Mookie's a really good example. And I think that perhaps the PBA should even do more to try and get him involved. Right. And help you. I don't want to use the phrase use him because that to me has a negative connotation. But I will use the phrase use his promoting abilities, right, to help promote the sport of bowling. But here's my problem with most of the other people that we can talk about, Rob. Their interest in bowling is not real. Right. It's not solid. It's not grounded in anything. Right. Take the PBA League, for example, and how they just picked these celebrities to represent the cities because they had some connection to bowling. And now where are they just a few years later when the PBA League is a really popular product? They're not even attached to it anymore. And it's very awkward because they still bring it up, but the people aren't really attached. You never see them there. So it's a very awkward association to me in that way. The Chris Paul thing is cool. I think that can do a lot to promote bowling. But again, none of the celebrities that have ever been on that have actually followed up in any serious way to promote bowling, or to stick with it, right? To keep that promotion rolling forward or for their interest in the sport to grow in any way. So if we're going to get celebrities involved in the sport, right, and we're going to get celebrities involved in the game, I want it to be genuine. And I want it to really have a genuine impact, right, and have a genuine level of interest. So, that's simply what I see from the celebrity angle of it. And I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna call people out. But if you pay attention to social media, there's a lot of people involved in the PBA who really go to great lengths to promote the celebrity side of things. So.
Technical difficulties, FYI. Can you hear me, Mike? Am I coming in okay? Or
I can hear you. Yeah. I don't know if our audience can hear you or not. All right, Rob will be back. I'll carry us for the time being. If you guys have anything in the chat you want to talk about, let me know. I'll carry the show, though. No problem. Don't worry about it, folks. So Rob and I wanted to highlight some viewer email that we received throughout the week. Well, not really throughout the week. I guess you could say over the last few weeks we had some viewer email that was interesting to us. Some people reached out to us, and we wanted to share some of that with you guys. Rob, you're back. I just kept it rolling, Rob. People were saying I carry the show anyway, so
yeah, that's my brother saying that. I appreciate it, Dave. Next time we need a bet, remember to call Mike, not me.
All right, so
but yeah,
Rob, the first email we wanted to highlight. We received from a gentleman named Miguel Felice from Florida. Yeah, so we're just going to share the email with you. We'll put it in there, okay? And we're gonna talk about it. Let us know your opinions in the chat as well. We found this topic really interesting, and we wanted to get into it. So here's the email. Okay.
Yeah, my internet it just sucks because you're chopping here. Let me. It's really bad. That being
I don't know. On my end, it seems it seems like you're the one having issues. I don't know. My broadcast looks pretty good. People in the chat, let us know. Who can you hear and see better? Is it me or Rob having issues? It seems like it's Rob to me. I don't know. Maybe it's me though.
It's me. My internet My internet sucks, but okay, hold on one sec.
My internet's awesome.
Give me 1 minute here.
I live in the New York City metro area, baby. we're all good over here. I got to do the virtual teaching from home 3 days a week at this point, so it's got to be up and running.
I want to pull this email up here.
All right, I got it. I got.
Can you hear me? I think I'm okay now.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
you're
good.
Right.
I'm good. I think my internet's good. All right.
Okay, so here's the email. All right, it says, "Hey, Mike and Rob, hope all is well. I respect your views and would like your opinion on pros bowling in amateur tournaments. I bowl in the new mecca of bowling, Tampa Bay, Orlando, Central Florida. I didn't know that was the new mecca of bowling. I guess it is. Many pros and former pros bowl in amateur tournaments in my area. This is great because you get to test your skills against the sport's best and can gauge your progress. My issue is, now, and I find this interesting, the guy doesn't have a problem with the pros bowling the tournament. That's not his issue, okay? He says, this is my issue is they group up to prep their lanes. Consistently, over and over, I go to tournaments and 2 or 3 pros would be paired on lanes by request. They make the cut, and amateurs like me are always like, I missed by a few pins. I recently attended a tournament where 3 pros were bowling on the same pair, and all 3 cashed with 2 qualifying first and second seeds for a stepladder. By the way, they both lost their match. Ha ha ha. I get it. The tournament directors are just trying to make a living, so I can't fault them. My question is it ethical for professionals to request to bowl together, resulting in an advantage to the professional bowler? I'm originally from North Jersey, and we know how to cook the lane to your advantage, and I saw this from a mile away. I enjoy your show and look forward to your opinions. Okay. Rob, you want to weigh in first?
Sure. I feel like if to our guy, appreciate the email first, and that's pretty
definitely appreciate the email.
That's pretty much common in a lot of bowling tournaments where you go into the tournaments and they'll pair you up with your friends, if you happen to be all good bowlers, all PBA bowlers, and they get on the same pair, then that's the way the kind of tournament goes. But here's the thing: is if my guy, this is what you need to do. You need to find out their cross of when they sign up, and you need to find out if you guys are skipping a pair or if you guys are going a pair to the right. What you need to do is you need to get on their cross and you need to follow them. Okay, so if you get 3 or 4 nationally tour pro bowlers, or even great 3 out of the 4 on the pair of great bowlers, and you're following their pair, guess what? First off, they're going to break down the pairs, and they're going to be great when you get on the next pair. Second thing is, when they get onto the next pair, you could watch them throw their first 2 or 3 frames, and you can get reads on what's lanes hooking and what's not hooking based on how they're bowling. The best thing in the world for you to do is to follow guys and people who know what they're doing, because you can get reads on your next game, and if the left lane's hooking more, the right lane's tighter, based on how they throw their shot. So to me, it's an advantage if you know how to take advantage of it. I wouldn't really worry about what the tournament's doing, because it's not anything really you can change or you could do, but you could use it to your advantage. And by getting on the pair before that, and cross onto the pair, that's what I would try to do, at least.
Yeah, so this email is everything. I love this email. I have so many different directions I can go in with this issue. To me, this is part of the problem with bowling, quite honestly. This to me, this is a microcosm type example of the problem with competitive bowling. The best bowlers know they're the best bowlers, right? And they still want more of an advantage, even though they know they're the best bowlers, right? And to me, that hurts competitive bowling in general. Okay. Secondly, I really find it kind of cowardly of great bowlers, people who go around and probably brag about their bowling ability or brag about their bowling accomplishments or put down the accomplishments of other people in certain situations. I find it kind of cowardly of people like that to have to go to a tournament and get on a pair with certain people, or even worse, Rob, go back-to-back pairs which I've also seen a lot in Jersey and Pennsylvania, where not only do they have one pair set up, they have the next pair that they're following set up. Okay. And it's very cliquish, and it's very selective about who they're going to let on that pair, because they don't want somebody on that pair who's not going to play them the way they want to play. Listen, if you're that good, it shouldn't matter. If you're as good as you say you are, or you're as good as you think you are, it shouldn't matter. All right. I've never gone to a tournament and said, well, I only want to bowl if I can bowl on this pair with these people and follow these others. That's ridiculous. The PBA doesn't do it. I don't think it should be a common practice anywhere. Okay. Certainly not at
the
a
PBA
competitive level of a sport tournament that professional bowlers are going to be bowling in. And quite frankly, if you have to do that and you need that much of an edge, I don't know.
Look, there's the thing is the PBA, it doesn't really matter who you cross with on the PBA. I mean, if you're bowling at that,
absolutely it does.
Well, it does, but it doesn't. I mean, look,
yes,
like it does.
It 100%.
No. But let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Because look, like they're all going to be, and I'm talking national events. Okay, I'm not talking like regionals. I'm not talking like amateur tournaments. I'm talking like national, like elite, like top 60, right? They're all going to be playing the lanes pretty close. I mean, yeah, you have your two-handers that are going to mess some stuff up, but in reality, you're all going to be pretty equal. Now, amateurs is a whole nother ball game, right? You're bowling an amateur tournament, and you know that, right? Amateurs are all over the place. Bowl the tat, right? The reason why the tat is so difficult is not because the lanes are tough, is because you have hundreds of bowlers. Oh, the crosses are impossible because you have everybody bowling differently, right? So this is our guy here is bowling an amateur tournament, and you have 2 or 3 guys. Oh yeah, of course you highlight that one, right?
Son?
Oh,
what else is new, son? Come on.
But look, like amateur tournaments, when you have 3 pros and they're on the same pair and they're bowling, and everybody else is all over the place, it's going to be a little bit of an advantage, at least the first pair, because the PBA guys have to go to the next pairs where they're not going to be able to break down a pair, in a game, right? So maybe the first game it's an advantage.
Well, there's also, I disagree with that too. I think that it does matter in a PBA tournament, that even a national level, the cross you get. I'm sure if we ask the players, Rob, there's stories of guys who felt that they had less of a chance in a tournament because of who they were following in a particular event. But
dude, I crossed with Terrell Owens for 5 days at the World Series of Bowling, and he was playing 3 hours left of me using 500 grit.
I would say that it probably matters more who you're following in a PBA tournament than who you're bowling with. Actually, I think who you're following is probably more important. Nonetheless, in an amateur event, competitive amateur event, I just disagree. And if you're talking about just the one pair, yeah, I don't think it's as bad. But going forward, that those people are going to help each other out with figuring out those other pairs. Where everybody else is bowling on their own. Nobody else is getting assistance from the people on their pair about what they're seeing on the pair. That's not happening on the average on other pairs throughout a tournament. What I really have a problem with is when it's back-to-back pairs. That's when I really start to say, the tournament director shouldn't even allow that. Like, I don't care if there's a group of guys you want to bowl with, and you're willing to follow whoever. It doesn't matter. You want to bowl with this group of guys. But then when you have people who are going to go and set up one pair and the next pair that they're going to follow, that's a little bit extreme to me. So that was an interesting email, though, Rob. It's a good issue to bring up, good thing to point out, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have opinions on that.
For sure, it definitely is every day, not every day, but every tournament, right? Random draws are really the only way to go about it, and I saw someone say that in the chat. Really, random draw is really the only fair way to do it, honestly, and it should be like that for every tournament, regardless, amateur, pro. I mean, look, like even juniors, just because me and my brothers used to bowl the same tournament. Yeah, it was easier for my parents to not have to go and walk across the house, but I feel like random draw is the only way to do it. Plus, you get to meet people too. I don't know. As an amateur, it was fun always bowling, crossing with different people, and you end up sometimes chatting it up with people, and you get to meet new people. But that's a whole nother
Yeah, you get to tell them all about your podcast. That's what.
Yeah, of course.
That's
I know
what
that's
I
what
do.
you probably do. I know you do.
I do. I say, hey guys, I do a podcast. I'm going to talk about how much we all suck. My next episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, come and join us.
All right, I got a quick story, and then we want to talk PBA Clash, because we haven't done that yet. But I got a quick story from one of our guys who's probably still in the chat room, and he's probably well known around the bowling community. A gentleman by the name of Robert Rowe III. Love the kid, man. I've known him my whole life.
If you've ever met Robert Rowe III, you never forget Robert Rowe III. Okay.
No,
I only had one
definitely
a memorable character, right? Yeah. So like
sure.
I only had one
Smart
experience
kid,
with him in junior bowling, and that was when my mom and I and another friend of mine and his mom actually took the train up to Windsor Locks, Connecticut for the JBT Challenge because my mom didn't drive on highways. And yeah, who did we meet on the train? We met Robert Rowe on the train up to Windsor Locks, Connecticut.
Oh,
and
I'll never forget him trying to cross the Route 1 with 12 bowling balls.
This guy, he chatted up my mom like no other young person I had ever seen. And yeah, she was very impressed with him. And yeah. We got a friend. We got a friend in the chat. Mr. Corvino's in the chat. I love it. He wants to know when we're going to talk Tony Ament. Oh my goodness, we don't have time right now. But just, Rob, remind me next episode. Tony Ament. Who remembers Tony Ament? PBA Rookie of the Year.
I know the name.
PBA Rookie of the Year. Tony Ament. I just got to quickly just mention, like, probably going on 8 years ago or so. I bowled a Friday night majors league with Matt O'Grady and a couple other local guys, and Tony Ament happened to be on one of the teams. Rob, the dude is insane. He's straight insane. Okay, I mean,
sounds like my kind of guy.
He got into a fist fight one night. I mean, it was wild. So I got to tell the stories about that at some week, but we don't have time this week, Mr. Corvino. Actually, Corvino only showed up for Barstool Carl. So Carl, if you're still here, you got fans coming in. Fans of yours who are also fans of ours, so they wanted to check you out. So Rob, go ahead. What direction do you want to go in?
So I guess there was a good story that he shared with me about COVID. He calls it a COVID Karen, and I don't want to offend any Karens in our chat or fans, but we all know what a Karen is, right? It's a woman who complains and is a rat, is what they are. They're a snitch. They're a rat. We don't like Karens. So I guess there was about Maryland, Virginia bowlers traveling up to Chambersburg, PA, despite PA's new travel restrictions. So I guess there's some strict travel restrictions in PA, and this person called the local health department where they bowl and ratted them out. He did it to another in a small center down the road to them as well. Guy lives in Baltimore and is ratting out bowling centers and tournaments directors to health officials in Pennsylvania. 3 tournaments and counting got nuked because of this guy. So there's someone going around, dude. Let me tell you, the bowling industry is already.
Why does somebody care about what other people are doing that much?
Because people are nuts, bro. Like,
that's crazy.
Like, yeah. So I don't know. I think
wild.
that's.
I don't even have.
If anybody knows who this person is, give them their information. We'd love to have a COVID Karen on the show and ask him to his face why he's such a rat. And I'd like to publicly shame this gentleman as well. So
shame.
Shame. Anyway, so let's talk PBA Clash.
Keith, by the way, Keith Poppity, yes, 1994, Tony Ament, PBA Rookie of the Year, 1994. Check that. Look it up. Okay. So, Rob, PBA Clash. Let's go.
Yes. PBA Clash.
I have so many thoughts on this show.
Okay.
It was such a bullshit show, and I have so many thoughts on it.
A lot of money they put up involved. They did. It was a lot of money for a bullshit show. It was. They gave $25,000. $25,000 to the winner, and another $25,000 to the team for sitting on the sidelines. Okay, which is wild, right? Because $50,000 to people for 12 bowlers, and then the teams aren't doing shit. Okay, not bowling. Mike, first off, my first question to you is: did you like the format of the show? Did you like the way they did it with the teams on the sidelines. What did you think in general?
I wanted to be I wanted to be standing next to Stu Williams on the sidelines, because every single time someone threw a shot, Stu turned over his shoulder and had a comment for all the people that were standing around that shot. Like, I think it would have been better to just have a boom mic right on top of all the players to hear all the shit that was being said while the people were bowling, rather than having certain PBA stars with a microphone that they kind of wanted to highlight, which is fine too, that I have no problem with, right? I thought the opening of the show, Rob, was really funny, because if you go back and you watch it in the opening of the show, Randy, I was laughing out loud at this, because he really was like trying to convince himself that this really was like a great bowling product that they were putting out. And he actually said something to the effect of, this will be some of the most dramatic bowling in all of professional bowling on television. Great stuff. I mean, like, it was almost like he was trying to convince himself. It was laughable.
Well, I mean, that's what hype people do. You know what I mean? You know how the announcers are. They're going to say every week, it's going to be the most memorable show, groundbreaking history in the making. You know, I mean,
yeah, but
I've watched enough wrestling in my day to know that. Like, you know,
I know, but you can't. You know, something like this is more. And can I just say, you're saying it was a lot of money, right? By the way the players were acting, it seemed like they were bowling for peanuts to me. I don't know if anybody else out there felt the same way, but I was watching the show thinking, are they really bowling for the money that I think they're bowling for? Because it doesn't seem like they cared that much for that much money.
I'll disagree with that. I feel like Danielle McEwen really wanted to win more than anybody on that show.
Shout to her. She put on a great performance. That was the only thing I enjoyed watching about this show.
By the way,
I enjoyed watching.
I watched it with my mom, and my mom kept saying that that you should go for her. You should. I want to set you up with her. My mom was trying to play matchmaker with Danielle, and I'm like, I got no problems with that, Mom, but you know, I think she's spoken for. But my mom
I don't know about that, Rob. I don't know about
that. My mom liked her shirt. My mom liked her skirt. My mom liked, she's so pretty. She throws the ball great. Like, you'd be perfect for her. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I'm like trying to watch bowling, and I'm in the middle of getting set up. But look, to her credit, she raised her stock on that show. She bowled fantastic, and
she did.
You know, she definitely like earned her stripes a little bit bowling against the men. You know, the format definitely helped her. But I feel like even if it was a one game or a 1 game match against the other player, I feel like she would have held her own. She had a great look. You know, she was throwing the ball great. I feel like, you know, there's some missed opportunities there. I feel like they needed AJ Johnson on that show. I just felt like seeing him on the sideline kind of made me a little bit.
Taking the top title winner from each team. I said before, it sucked. It's a terrible idea. Listen, Rob, no one respects bowling history, all right, more than I do. Okay, no one's more of a fan of bowling, and especially the guys I'm going to mention, than I am. All right, these are the legends that we grew up watching. Guys like Walter Ray, Norm Duke, Pete Weber. But Rob, let's be honest. These guys are the past. These guys are the past. Okay? You know, when they came on in the intro and said, oh, there's this many titles and this many major titles, I thought to myself, yeah, there's also a few hundred years worth of living. You know, and come on, you got Pete Weber. The guy's 60-some years old. He's out there grabbing his crotch, saying, eat my crotch. I mean, like, come on,
dude,
man.
It's nostalgia, though.
Enough of this, for real.
Look, it's nostalgia. It is like, I'm not going to say Pete Weber brings ratings, okay, and he does bring entertainment.
I had enough of a 60-year-old man out there pointing to his crotch. Yeah, give it to, I mean, cut. Yeah.
I got no problems with having
a different direction.
Look, Mike, I'll be the first to say, look, let's get the youth on there and let's get them TV time and like let's promote the future. I've been on the record saying that numerous times. Here's the deal, though, is you got to have a little bit of nostalgia mixed in. And look, the PBA knows the ratings, and they know when Pete Weber is on the show, it's going to bring them more viewership. It's going to bring more interest. I don't mind having Pete Weber. He's a legend, right? And he's one of the most well-known bowlers in the world. My beef is when you have other people that aren't so interesting or intriguing on the show and are just like, there's no emotions. Frankie Lavoie is kind of boring. I feel like I'd rather see AJ than Frankie, especially since they were on the same team. I felt like the cameras were more focused on AJ than they were on Frankie anyway. I rather would have seen some other pros. I'd rather see Kyle than Wes.
Yeah, well,
honestly,
they kind of tried to feature other players, right, in the interviews and stuff like that. So.
It's not the same. My mom kept asking me, and she's a casual fan. She doesn't know the shit. She goes, "Why isn't Kyle bowling? I want to watch Kyle bowl." She kept saying that. Like, where's Kyle? Like, my mom likes Kyle. My mom likes his outfits. My mom likes his hair. I mean, like, he's interesting, and we've talked about it. He's a very future of the PBA. Like, he's good. He's a great bowler, and he's got some charisma. So I kind of feel like Liz Johnson, I rather would have seen, another like Clara Guerrero. I'd rather seen, Missy Parkin even bowl than Liz, even though Liz is the GOAT.
She's the GOAT, though.
She is.
GOAT, though. Don't matter.
All I'm saying is, like, they could have done a better job of selecting the pros. And, look, I love Norm Duke. Okay.
That's awesome.
I love Norm Duke. I have no problems with Norm Duke being on the show on top more than Bill and Tommy. I'd rather see Norm, honestly. I think Norm is hilarious. Dude, Norm is like one of my favorites. Dude, he's got personality. He's got Norm is the best. Like, Norm and Pete are the two legends that I don't mind seeing every week. So other than that, the format was okay. I didn't really hate the format, to be honest with you. I thought the way the show was, it was a little bit interesting, like, and it was easy to follow for a casual fan. Look, low scorer goes out, right? Like, so, I mean, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to hate on the show as much as a lot of people are. I didn't think it was a bad show. It entertained me. I did watch all of it. I wasn't jazzed about having to watch it, honestly. Like, I probably, if I didn't have to do this show Wednesday nights, I probably would still be on my DVR. I'll be honest with you. But, like, it was okay. I mean, look, like, look, we talked about this last week. They could have done a lot more things with the money that they put up.
They absolutely could have. All I'm going to say about Norm Duke is I want to go back in time and party with Norm Duke when his strike song was actually popular. Like, his strike song is some 80s rock song, and I want to go back and party with Norm Duke at the time that song was popular, because I think that would be amazing. I noticed that Rhino Page was cheering very enthusiastically for his team member to win, and the only thing I could think of, Rob, watching the show, and it's sad, but the only thing I could think of is that's because he was 50th on the money list and made like 4,000 or something for the year. So it was he probably could have like doubled his earnings for the year by having his teammate win that event. Everyone, when Chris Barnes left the 4-9, I hope he's in the chat. Barnes, I hope you're in the chat right now. I hope you're watching this, because I gave him a hard time. We interviewed him back in the day, and if you just haven't listened to that interview, you should, because it's a good one. But Rob, everybody laughed when this guy left the 4-9. I thought it was the worst break on the show. I thought it was the worst break. Put him out, and
put him out. $25,000.
Yeah, and like, he kind of had one of the best looks, and he leaves the 4-9. Everybody laughs at him. I feel you, Chris. I feel you. 4-9 cost me mad dough in my bowling career. That was like my arch nemesis was the 4-9. People try to tell me 4-9's a bad shot. Come on, 4-9's a bad shot? No.
No. I mean, it could go either
Bullshit.
way. To me,
4-9 ain't a bad shot. I'm sorry. 4-9 is a good. 4-9 is a good pitch.
For you, it's not a bad shot. For me, on my level, that's a bad shot.
Okay. Am I wrong, Rob? Am I wrong? And listen, I'm going to catch heat for this, people, but I'm going to say it anyway. Am I wrong that it seems like Belmo can't have fun while he's bowling? Am I wrong about that? Doesn't seem like he was having much fun out there at all.
See, this is the type. Well, let me comment here, Ron. You're the type of fan. That's the reason why the PBA is never going to get better. Because if there's some kind of criticism against the PBA, you blame the fans like us for making educated criticisms on shows, or just accepting it and saying, well, if you don't like it, make your own tour. You know, Ron, like, well, you know what? We don't like it. We're fans, and we're outspoken fans, and we're educated fans. We're informed fans. We're going to talk how we want to talk. And if we feel like the show isn't great, then guess what? Like, we're going to talk about it. But you know what? I'm not going to be the type of person that says, well, just deal with it and make your own show. It just doesn't work that way. So, appreciate the comment. Thanks for listening.
He's saying
but
you suck, Ron. That's what he's saying. Saying you suck. He's saying kick rocks, Ron.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not the type that's going to accept something because it's shitty and be like, well, make your own. Like, it's just, we're able to make our own educated opinions on shows like everybody does in sports, right? With your favorite sports team. Well, why don't you just buy your own sports team if you don't like the Eagles or you don't like the Jets? Trust me, Ron, if I had the money to buy the Jets, I would, and they would probably still suck. But I mean, what are you going to do? Like, as an informed fan, you're going to make criticisms on your people. So anyway, talking about Belmo not having fun. Yeah, I feel like, he needs to have a couple shots before he bowls. Is he
a stick in the mud to bowl for fun? Like, is he not a guy you want to get at a pro-am?
No, he's fun. My mom, I judge a lot by what my mom says because she's like a casual fan and I like listening to her comments. And
well,
she
you
likes
live with
Belmo.
her too, so if you don't agree, she'll throw your ass out. So you really have no choice.
It's temporary for the people out there,
especially for the Danielle McEwens out there. It's temporary.
Danielle
you
girl.
Hear that, Danielle? It's
Danielle girl.
Okay?
It's just temporary. I'm saving money so I could take you to the Bahamas, girl. What's up? Hit me up. Call me. But anyway, so yeah, I feel like he needs a couple of shots to loosen him up a little bit. But he tries to be on his best behavior. I feel like Rash is the type at any time that could probably get a little bit crazy.
So who's less fun? Who's less fun to bowl with at a pro-am, Rob? Belmo or Pete Weber?
Dude, Pete Weber's a good. He's fun at I watched him at pro-ams before. He's pretty interactive.
I don't know. I bowled with him in a pro-am before. It was a horrible experience. I mean, he was like arguing with fans, and
it's amazing. Who'd want to not argue with Pete Weber?
It was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, really, Actually, Ron, our opinions do improve the PBA because they tend to take whatever we say and like try it, and do it. So you're wrong about that, Ron. You can kick rocks again, okay?
Hey, the PBA, I know they listen to the show, and I'm not saying they are changing their way they do things based on our opinions, but you know what? They'd be stupid not to listen to outlets of fans and podcasts to get feedback of the fans. It's called what is it called? It's like marketing or some kind of like target marketing when they listen. A lot of products out there, companies, they do surveys with people and to get their opinions on their product and their logos. And, there's a whole division called marketing based upon that. So if the PBA is not listening to the fans and not listening to a show like ours, then I feel like then they're missing something, because I feel like our fans and us, we have a lot of, good opinions and good things on what they should be doing. So, I mean, hey, like,
here's my big takeaway from this show, Rob. I've said it before. I'll say it again, probably.
Focus groups.
Anything that is manufactured comes off bad. It just comes off poor. It just comes off bad. So
I don't know what's going to happen first, the vaccine or the 2021 schedule. Let's put a bet. Who do we get vaccines from?
Vaccines next week in some places, so it's definitely going to be the vaccine. But all right, Rob, listen, I'm catching heat from people because they want to see the last segment we have for them here. Okay, so we got to jump into it. Okay. Last segment we got for you, people. Worst of the week. Worst of worst of the week. How this works is Rob and I spend the week scouring the USB-C message boards, and really any bowling message board I would say is in play, like the Hammer bowling message board 900. 900 Global has a lot of goofballs posted on it. I'll say that. So we scour these message boards and we look for what we think is the worst post of the week. Okay, so Rob, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You go first, because for some reason in my debacle of trying to find something, I closed my posts. But,
okay.
So...
Give me a second here. So my worst of the week this week actually goes out to someone I know. I know this person in real life. Okay, I actually know this person in real life, and yeah, honestly. To me anyway, some people would disagree with me. This person would probably disagree with me. They're like an example of, the typical house bowler type mentality, right, etc. So my worst of the week goes out to none other than Carl Hoffmeyer, okay, inventor of the Max Y. I think that's what it was called, the Max Y grip layout. Okay, guy was a pro shop operator in our area coming up, and he created this offset thumb layout that he thought was the next coming in bowling, and it was called the Max Y, I think, and he promoted it very heavily. So he posted on the USB-C message boards and realized this is someone who throws plastic in league. That's who this guy is. Like, when he wants to protest what's going on out there, he'll take out the plastic ball and he'll play up the gutter on the left side. He's a lefty. But he gets my worst of the week, Carl Hoffmeyer, for posting this. He says, because of the soft lane conditions, 800 is the new 700. Disgusting. Okay? Now, this thread is not only the worst of the week because that's a terrible take for his involvement in the game of bowling, right? But the post got, at this time that I screenshot, it got 170 comments. His post had 170 comments, okay? And some of the comments were great. I mean, if you people haven't seen this, you must go read it. As soon as we're done here, you really should log off. Go on Facebook.
I thought Tim bucked it.
I think at a certain point he did Tim Buck the post. Oh. Tim Buck did the Tim Buck, and he shut it down.
Tim bucked it. That's what I called it.
Yeah, he Tim Bucked it.
Tim bucked up the post.
Yeah, because it blew up too much, right? But Carl Hoffmeyer, shout to my man, Bristol Pike Lanes, bowls at Bristol Pike Lanes. Shout to my man Carl Hoffmeyer, worst of the week, worst post on the USB-C message boards for this week. Okay,
that's awesome.
Rob, the floor is yours.
I just have one picture that was posted, and I was curious do people actually use this? So let me see if I could zoom in on this. Oh, I had it. Mike,
is this a real thing? I don't even know. I mean, it seems goofy to me, but
I'm not sure. But the only thing I could think of when I think of this is an episode of Married with Children where Al Bundy was bowling, and they were bowling against another family, and he got the thumb warmer limited edition, and he put it on his thumb. And then he needed a strike or 3 pins to win, and he guttered. And he's like, "Well, Peg, it must have broke." Does people actually use this? Is this a thing? On the USB-C message boards, I guess it is, because that someone was asking about it, and I didn't even know. I responded. And Andrew's laughing because he loved that comment. I put a picture of the Al Bundy of him with the thumb warmer because it's such a joke. Anyway, so that's my worst of the week. Just that picture of someone actually like thinking or maybe having an idea that they should use that. It's just funny to me. I don't know. That was my worst of the week. Kind of made me laugh a little bit.
I want to give a best of the week this week to my guy, Matt O'Grady, friend of the show, Matt O'Grady. Robbie had the best post of the week. The post was, if you could throw it, I think it was for one shot or one game, like any bowler ever, who would you throw it like? And there were like 500 responses. People had a lot of funny responses. Dave Botkowski actually went on and said he would throw it like Race Marsh, which I found, if you know Race Marsh, oh my God, I thought that was the best response. But I wanted to get O'Grady on the show tonight, Rob. He is a friend of the show. You know, he is somebody that I talk to in my personal life too. So I wanted to bring him on just for 5 minutes, just to talk about the post and see what he thought was the best responses to his post. But listen, some news here. He's actually under the weather. You know, he's actually not
COVID?
feeling so good. So I'm not sure. You know, I don't want to comment on that too much. But I was texting with him here a little bit as the show was going on, and just want to give him a shout and say, hope he feels better there. So, Rob, it's what we got for the people tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed. It was kind of an interesting show, Rob. Barstool Carl checking in, popping in. You know, you're always invited, Carl. You're always invited. And listen, we'll beef online, whatever. I say what I say, but we're more than reasonable people to come by and have a discussion with, have a chat with. So, Rob, any final thoughts, or are we good?
No, we're good. I think we'll talk more about, hopefully we get a PBA schedule the next week. I know we didn't get a chance to touch on that a little bit, but I mean, yeah, interesting that there's schedules. It's December 2nd and they still don't even know where they're bowling next year. So, I mean, the pros, if we're wondering as fans, PBA announces a PBA Pinsider, but they haven't announced the schedule. So, I mean, what's going on? Like, where's the schedule? Does anybody know? Anybody out there? Message me, email us, tell us what's the holdup? I know there were pros that were worried 2 months ago why the schedule isn't going on. Like, is there going to be a tour next year? Or is it going to start in May? Is it going to start in October? Is it going to start in March? Not sure, man. So that's kind of where I'm thinking right now. When's the next bowling on, Mike? Do we know? Is there any shows coming on? Is there any?
Not that I know of, man. Derbies? I think that's it. I think that's all they had in the tank.
Is there no more clashes, home run derbies? I mean,
let's lobby for this, Rob. How about this? Let's if they don't get it going, let's only the Pinsiders know the schedule. Yeah, sure.
Jeff, that's comment of the night, man. That's hilarious.
Let's lobby for if they don't get the schedule out or they're not able to get things rolling. Let's lobby for some one-on-one matchups. Predetermined one-on-one matchups between some premier players, perhaps with some history behind them, and let's put some money out in a product like that and see where that goes.
How about a no tap show where the pros have to use their opposit hands and throw as many strikes as they can in 30 seconds?
No, I see what you're doing.
On a unicycle. On a unicycle.
All right. You're a smart ass. I thought you were being funny. I thought you were being serious for a second.
I love it. All right, Mike.
Folks, take it easy. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate everybody. We'll see everybody.
215 at Brooklyn Rob. Give us a follow.
Yeah.
Shout to all the burners, baby. Shout to all the burners and the haters. Shout to all the burners and the haters. Enjoy those pictures of my house. Enjoy those pictures of my house that I sent you too, because I know you like those. I know your house ain't as nice as mine, so enjoy those.
Yeah,
take it easy, haters. Later.